Now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of what Indians are all about.
I still say we Indian people are believers in the truth. This is the way of life that was given to your people. You're born an Indian, you're going to die an Indian. Indianness is a good life. You're facing an Indian this afternoon.
Good Saturday afternoon out there, everyone. Welcome into your number one source for Native American television news, Native News Today. I'm your host, Jason Salzman, from here in the Mvskoke Media Studios as we are prepared to bring you this week's episode. Lots of great things happening out there in Mvskoke Creek country that we have been chasing down and getting ready for you this weekend. Lots of wonderful news to pass along. Lots of things, too, in our windshield. That is the future coming up next week. Got some exciting things. Going to be making a trip to Oklahoma City, the American Indian Cultural Center and Museum. You've seen a lot of the story of this place on the show as they have tried to get it up and running. They've named a new director, and he happens to be Mvskoke Creek as well. So James Pepper Henry will have an interview and some stuff with him. That'll be next week, though. We're making the trip up to Oklahoma City tomorrow, so it won't be ready for broadcast time, but we're excited about that and all the great stuff we have for you this week as well. Jared Moore's taking a look into the budget here at Mvskoke Media, how we sort of break it down, what we pay for, what it means to the citizens as far as what we're able to provide you. And so that's going to be interesting. We'll also look at some of the wonderful things that they're doing down at the Eufaula Indian Community, that and much, much more. Lots of exciting news to pass along. So we will get right to that after this first break. You're watching Native News Today. And welcome back to the program as we get ready for this week's features. And this week, our leadoff feature is a look at Mvskoke Media, and specifically, a couple years ago when we were granted our free press legislation here at Mvskoke Creek Nation, lots of people were excited about that. Lots of people were unsure of what that meant for us as Mvskoke Media. One of the big questions was, are you going to have to be self-sufficient? Can you be an independent press while still being funded from the tribal government? Well, we took into account that question for this week's feature here because what we wanted to do was show the citizens or those of our viewers what the impact would be if Mvskoke Media had to become a for-profit institution. Meaning, if we had to make $1 to sustain ourselves rather than being tribally funded, would it mean a cost for the Mvskoke Nation newspaper? Would it mean a subscription fee for the Native News Today? All of that is here in this video from Jared Moore.
The Mvskoke Creek Nation government serves and is guided by Mvskoke Creek citizens. The legislators and executives of the tribe are elected by the citizens, and they work for you. At MCN, the tribal citizen is the boss. In theory, for Mvskoke Creek citizens to make good decisions about what their government should do, they need to be informed and up to date about what their government is doing and what it has done. The idea is the boss needs to know what the employees are doing in order to decide which ones to promote and which ones to fire. That is where Mvskoke Media comes in. Our job is to be the eyes and ears of the citizens. Mvskoke Media believes that informed Mvskoke Creek citizens result in an effective and stable MCN government. Mvskoke Media is funded solely with revenue obtained from MCN casino operations, as well as departmental income, and receives no federal funding or tax dollars. Funding the press in this way takes financial pressure off of Mvskoke Creek citizens, who receive the paper, radio, and television programs at no cost to themselves. Media that use a for-profit business model or are funded by federal funds still require the citizens to pay to know what their representatives are doing, either directly with their own money or through taxes on income or services. Should the boss have to pay to know what the employees are doing? Some MCN representatives and citizens have suggested that Mvskoke Media should adopt a for-profit business model and no longer be funded by casino revenue. This might entail a future where Mvskoke Creek citizens pay money to purchase the paper, and the radio and television program air advertising to pay for the cost of program production. Let us take a look at the costs that could be incurred by citizens in such a scenario. Assuming that the Mvskoke Nation News was able to sell one paper to every citizen, what would the cost per paper be? Currently, MNN has a print run of 18,000 issues spread over a semi-monthly schedule, which is mailed out to 7,227 households. Based upon an 8-page edition, printing cost on a monthly basis is $2,646.56, and shipping of these issues costs $8,555.79. Payroll for employees involved with paper production for the month is $66,378. With this data, we can calculate a per-issue cost for the paper production. If we assume each issue is shipped to the citizen and the total run of the paper is 80,591, the current number of Mvskoke Creek citizens according to the MCN Citizenship Department. Per issue, the paper would cost 14 cents to print, payroll for employees per issue is 41 cents, and postage is 59 cents. This means the estimated cost to each citizen that receives the paper in this scenario would be $1.14 per edition. This cost could change depending on the number of pages in the edition and the number of citizens subscribed to receive the paper and the location of the citizens who receive the paper. What about the television and radio programs? Native News Today and Mvskoke Radio both purchase airtime on Tulsa CW 1219 and KOKL AM 1240 respectively. Both programs are classified as paid programs, and as such are not calculated in the various ratings metrics. Mvskoke Media pays the broadcaster the cost of the airtime for the selected time slots, as well as the cost of the news and production staff to create the program. Any advertiser could do the same, without the added cost of the news and production staff. This puts Mvskoke Media in the position of having to inform any client that wants to advertise on these programs that it would be cheaper for them to approach the broadcaster directly themselves. Funding these programs in this way could also place Mvskoke Media in a legal and ethical gray area that might lead to compromised coverage or biased reporting. Utilizing casino revenue to pay these costs removes the necessity to sell ad time and could keep Mvskoke Media out of possibly compromising positions. But is not Mvskoke Media's funding determined by the principal chief and affirmed by the MCN National Council? Doesn't that leave it open to influence? At first glance, it would seem so, but let us take a deeper look at the possible scenarios. If the principal chief decided to reduce funding to Mvskoke Media's budget for whatever reason, we would report on it in detail, just as we did when Principal Chief James Floyd issued an executive order in 2016 that all MCN departments reduce their budgets by 10%, which affected Mvskoke Media as well. This allows Mvskoke Creek citizens to decide what they want to happen based on the facts. We do not tell the boss what to do, just what the employee is doing, and if Mvskoke Creek citizens do not want Mvskoke Media to have funding reduced or eliminated, they can tell the principal chief that with their vote. The council does not have the ability to set amounts or reduce the proposed budget for the executive branch of the government. They can only approve or reject said budget. Since Mvskoke Media is an independent statutory agency which resides in the executive branch, it is protected barring a government shutdown. The council could amend or repeal the legislation that created the Free Press and Mvskoke Media, but again, this would all be reported to the citizens, and any MCN representatives that voted to remove the citizens' ability to know what the government is doing would have to answer to those same citizens at election time. If you are a Mvskoke Creek citizen, the government and representatives work for you. You are their boss and have a right to know what they are doing. Do you think you should have to pay to know what your government is doing?
And thanks once again to Jared Moore there. Lots of hard work went into that video, lots of information gathering, statistics putting together. Did a wonderful job with that. and you can catch it as well as all of our archive material on our YouTube channel if you didn't catch it here today. Moving right along, my hometown, Eufaula, very proud of what's going on right there now. The Eufaula Indian Community doing wonderful things there in Eufaula, bringing businesses, bringing a diversified economic revenue stream to that community and to that center there, to where they can provide services, self-sustain there as a chartered community of the Mvskoke Creek Nation. I went down and spent the day and looked around at some of their new business ventures, talked to an old friend of mine, Mr. Judd Pickering. He is the CEO of the Eufaula Indian Community, brought a lot of these business ideas to the board, talked to John Sloan as well as some people from the Eufaula Chamber of Commerce about the impact Eufaula Indian Community is having not only on themselves, but their surrounding city.
They brought me on as a CEO last year. Originally started as a business coordinator with their Economic Development Board. And over time, they've learned to kind of trust in, be patient with me and allow me to kind of go out and find some ventures or develop them from the ground up for them. So it's definitely been an experience over time. The membership has been great, patient as well. They voted, after learning of some things, they voted to go ahead and move forward some projects that we're doing. As you're aware, Anika's, which is the home decor store, we opened in February. The distribution company we created last month in March, which is selling Eagle Spirit Water. So we're getting outside the original box of tobacco and casino and moving forward with these things.
Past couple of years, we've been fortunate enough to kind of do some economic development. We've had a couple of people come on to our board and have been really instrumental in going out and obtaining these projects. And some of them we've got implemented right now. And I believe we're going to continue, and we're going to have an extra source of income coming into this community and be able to provide more services for our citizens and our community members.
The Creek Nation here, the Eufaula Indian Community, is the forefront of business development right now in Eufaula. We've kind of slacked over the years, and I'm kind of new to the community myself, but I've been able to meet up with the leadership here at the Indian Community Center, and it's been wonderful. Been very warm. We're trying to help each other. We endorse the projects that they're proposing to bring in, and we're very happy to work in partnership with this. This is great development for Eufaula. We've needed it for years. We look forward to many more projects coming down the pike. We've established a foundation at the Chamber, and Judd Pickering is on our board, so we hope to keep that relationship continuing, and we look for other projects that we can assist each other with, whether it's land acquirement or whatever we need to do to help incentivize our area for business.
I've seen, us come together as a community and work together like we should. There's a lot of things that have changed, and but through prayers, and from the beginning it started with prayer, and I think that's what it takes for things to happen.
Well, speaking about 20 or 30 years ago, I remember when the Eufaula Indian Community was just forming. I think it was back in '86, was it '84, somewhere in that? But they were meeting up at our dining room in Eufaula Dormitory, and I kind of worked late some evening. I kind of sit in on the back, kind of see what was going on. But they had a group, probably about 15 or 20 people. But I remember they used to sit around and fuss and argue and everything over the pit table. That's how it started. But eventually, as years went on, I guess they developed, smoke shops and the bingo hall up here, and they were kind of on the road to, getting some good revenue into the community and providing jobs and everything.
Be able to diversify and get out of the box and don't rely on the tribe and become self-sufficient is a major part. That's one of the reasons why the communities were created in the first place, was to take care of its own people in its own jurisdictions, easier access instead of relying on the tribe and the slow process it may have. Growing up, watching my dad, he was a legislator for 20 years, be involved with the Creek people, and actually have an opportunity now to give back in some sort of way. I mean, there's plenty of other opportunity, but right now my heart and passion is with this current group, the Indian community, and I'm very privileged that they're allowing me to do the things I'm doing right now as well.
And I want to thank all those people down there, Phyllis Colbert, Judd Pickering, John Sloan, Pam Rossi, all the people that I got to visit with there at the Eufaula Indian Community, a lot of familiar faces, and was wonderful to see them and to share all the great news that's happening down there for EIC. You know, everybody out there knows that Mvskoke Creek Nation purchased Riverwalk Crossing in Jinx. I know we've made a really big effort to be able to get some, an anchor tenant in that facility, the Flying T, but really wanting to build the business portfolio there of that center. And they have done that in a big way with the announcement and the implementation of the newest restaurant to go into Riverwalk Crossing, Andolini's Pizzeria, a popular restaurant in the Tulsa area. It now has 4 locations, including the new one here at Riverwalk. We were invited, Mvskoke Media as well as other media members, for a special pre-opening to get a first look at Andolini's Pizzeria. Media members and tribal dignitaries were amongst a host of people in attendance for a special pre-opening event for the Mvskoke Creek Nation Riverwalk Crossing's newest business tenant, Andolini's Pizzeria. The newest Andolini's in Jinx joins 3 other successful locations in the Tulsa area, and according to One Fire Holding Company, who manages the property for MCN, is a big addition to making Riverwalk a fun, family-friendly destination again with plenty of great dining choices. Andolini's was first brought to life in the Tulsa area around 2011 when brothers Jim and Mike Bosch opened the first location in Owasso. Since that time, they have opened in 2 other locations and offer both traditional and creative pizza choices, appetizers, salads, sandwiches, and pastas, as well as dessert options including gelato. In addition, the restaurant prides itself on its house-made Italian sausage and mozzarella cheese. The Riverwalk location is the largest in size and includes a private dining area with takeout and catering options both available. Andolini's Pizzeria in Jinx will be open for business beginning Monday, April 24th. And we want to thank all the great people there at Andolini's Pizzeria for having us up and allowing us to share the information. A little short piece there, but we wanted everybody to know that it's opening. It is now open. If you want to go check it out, Riverwalk Crossing, now they have Andolini's, and coming soon, Burnco Barbecue, which is very, very popular in the downtown Tulsa area. In fact, you'll see lines all the way down the street trying to get into Burnco. They're going to have a big facility that will offer dinner too at Riverwalk Crossing. So we're excited about that and be looking for more on Burnco as the time passes. Well, as we so often do here on Native News Today, sometimes you'll see us, if you're an avid watcher, if you've been watching us for a few years, you see things that come up and you go, oh, it's that time of year again. And that was certainly true for this next feature, the CLE, the Continuing Legal Education Seminar that the Mvskoke Creek Nation District Court puts on every year for the attorneys in the Mvskoke Creek Nation Bar, as well as any attorneys in the area that want CLE credit.
It's for the Mvskoke Creek Nation District Court, and it is for several audiences. Of course, first is the attorneys that practice in the tribal courts, but we also make sure that it covers things which would be of use to our elected officials or any employees or others that may have an interest in working with the nation and the district courts. Well, the CLE specifically is to get the continuing education credits for the attorneys who practice in Oklahoma, but more broadly it's to educate the public and those attorneys that work within the nation for familiarity with our laws, culture, and customs. It just depends upon who's available out there and what we see as particular needs. We think we want to have a broad range of topics, both on practical, historical, and how to proceed into the future. No, we've just been very thankful that the nation so generously funded us over the years to put this on. I think it's a very important need. It serves a population that we have to educate, the attorneys and those who work with the courts, so that we can continue on and preserve our institutions and also our sovereignty. And so we're very thankful the nation has been sponsoring, especially this beautiful facility we have now.
And thanks again to the district court, all the hard work that they put in on the CLE, doing business in Indian country. I believe it's in its 9th or 10th year, I can't remember, but many years they put this on, and it's a great thing. You know, they have it now, a new home. For years it was there at the River Spirit Event Center, which, you know, it was nice for, you know, and it was a good area, but having it now in the conference areas of the River Spirit Margaritaville Resort and Casino, you know, all of it coming together, a great setting for that CLE. So I know they're excited about moving into the new digs. Well, we talked this week in Okmulgee with Holly Dunn over at Behavioral Health, Mvskoke Creek Nation. She does a great job. They are excited about the awarding to the Mvskoke Creek Nation, the only tribe to be awarded such a grant, the SBIRT grant. This will allow them to treat substance and alcohol abuse patients in the different clinics areas, and they're so excited to roll it out, and we talked to Holly about it.
Well, we were awarded the SBIRT grant, which stands for Screening, Brief Intervention, and Referral to Treatment. With that SBIRT, we are trying to implement that into our clinics. With that, we are actually starting with the Coweta Clinic because we have more clinicians over there, and it just felt like that was the correct place to start. We started there. Now, SBIRT is actually for our primary care. So this grant was awarded for the adult primary care, not so much pediatrics just yet, but that is actually for to screen for substance abuse and substance misuse, and it's totally voluntary. It's not something that you have to do just because you're a patient there. So with that, substance abuse, it could be alcoholism, it could be prescription, you know, painkillers, something of that nature that we actually ask them to screen. And if there is any issue, you may screen higher than most. We never pressure you into taking that treatment. Totally up to you, but we do give that option to come over to behavioral health for treatment. We are so excited about it. Actually, we are the only Native American tribe to receive this SBIRT grant this year. So we are actually the pilot program. With whatever happens with this grant, it really lays out the road, the path for other tribes to receive this grant. A fairly large grant, and we are just really excited to see where this, you know, heads and takes us. When you look at numbers in regards to alcohol misuse, substance abuse, it is, as we all know, or most of us know, it's very prevalent in Indian country. So we're looking to just help out our people and make this, you know, the quality of life of our people amazing. We try to use motivational interviewing. So motivational interviewing really helps in regards to substance abuse or misuse in order to just talk to people about some of the issues they may be facing. We're not only talking about substance abuse or alcoholism, we really want to talk to anybody about depression, or just to let them know that behavioral health is here for, you know, those people that are experiencing some issues every once in a while. But one of the things that we do use in regards to alcohol and to understand the low risk drinking limits and trying to see where everyone's at. It's actually a really good tool to use because not too many people understand the 12 fluid ounces and that bit. So for men on any single day, the low risk drinking limits would be about 4 cans, maybe 12 fluid ounces a day. 4 would be considered low risk. For a woman, 3 12 fluid ounce cans of beer would be considered low risk drinking. And anyone over the age of 65 would be 3 as well. So that kind of equals out to about 14 drinks per week for a man and 7 for a woman. Now, some people don't exactly understand when we ask how many drinks do you have a day? Well, this standard drinking sizes kind of helps because, you know, I may have 3 to 4 fluid ounces of fortified wine, and we see that as maybe I have 4 or 5 of those and thinking, oh, well, that's a regular standard drink size. Well, this kind of gives a better example of what that actually entails and looks like. Like a wine glass, if you fill it all the way to the brim, that is not exactly one standard drink. And I think that's where some of us get kind of caught up in not understanding what fluid ounce and a typical drink looks like. So this is a very helpful tool that we try to use in order just to show what standard drink sizes look like for many. You always have the opportunity to come to behavioral health for any help that you may see fit. It could be depression you're dealing with. It may be just about any issues that you see you know, in your life, alcoholism, substance abuse or misuse. However, we also do the SBIRT program is initiated into the COETA clinic right now. And with that, they have the opportunity to do the screenings right there with a clinician. And then if they feel like they need services, or we can actually refer people for services here to behavioral health. So they have that opportunity. Now we're looking at going ahead and integrating that into the SAPAPA clinic. So we will be up and live there in a few months. But really, we have about 5 years to implement this whole SBIRT program. Once that's implemented, we should be in every clinic we have, along with the emergency rooms.
Hey, that'll do it for another episode of Native News Today. We want to thank you all for joining us. We hope that you've stuck with us. This has been really a lot to this episode. We've had a lot of stories today, a lot of different things out there. Definitely, if you get a chance, you know, and you didn't catch the show, please go back and watch this episode on our YouTube channel, or tell a friend, or share our YouTube channel with someone. Subscribe, hit the red button, and you can get all of our episodes, because, you know, you go back and look at this episode and there's some really great information in there specifically about Mvskoke Media. What if, you know, we were a for-profit organization? Maybe something that we entertain or have to entertain here in the future as we move along, and we, along with those officials of the Mvskoke Creek Nation citizens, get used to our new status as an independent statutory agency here at Mvskoke Media. So great information in there available, as I said, on YouTube if you want to watch the episode in its archive state. So thanks again to Holly Dunn. Great news on the SBIRT grant. The people at Andolini's, go out and have some great pizza at Riverwalk Crossing. Give back to Mvskoke Creek Nation in you know, that capacity. They're having great businesses move into our facility. Also, I want to thank the people down at Eufaula Indian Community, doing a great job down there. Wonderful time with them this week. So hope you had a great time here watching the show. Everybody have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time right here on Native News Today.